whether it's filmmaking or storytelling, I love to tell stories. So as a result of Hurricane Katrina in 2005, I was led here to come to Houston. I was not planning on staying, but I was just kind of like trying to move away from the storm when the mayor was saying, everybody get out, take your things and leave. So I came to Houston. And when I got here, I seen that it was like a mini Hollywood. Like everyone was into acting, everyone was into stage plays. It was a candy shop for me. So I parked right here in 2005, and then I started teaching theater at the Boys and Girls Club. So I was with the Boys and Girls Club of Houston at three different locations, kind of doing stage plays over there, and actually was over a dance ministry. And in 2005, at that same Boys and Girls Club of Fort Bend, I met LaMarcus Tinker. LaMarcus Tinker came in to kind of have a prep talk with the students from Hollywood. He was from Friday Night Lights. You'll know him from Cougar Town or Glee. So when he came, I told him I had this web series, and we did a SAG web series, put it on YouTube, and then the rest has just been history. So my plea, and whatever I do, is to share hope and faith in anything that I produce, as far as anything that's dealing with a story, stage play, or writing a book. Storytelling is for me, and so that's how I got started. And I think I will probably leave this earth doing just that because I love it so much.
That is fantastic.
That's it.
Absolutely. And let's have a close examination of the life of K. Nikol Mars.
Okay. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I think my whole writing, my first real vivid memory is in elementary school. I attended Windsor Village Elementary, and my teacher, fifth grade teacher, was Mr. Stewart. And he would always have creative writing hour. Now, for him, it allowed him to grade papers and, give us something to do. But that was my favorite time because what he would do is he would take a picture from a magazine, and he would post it on the board, and he would just say, write about this. So you have free to do whatever you want, but you have to write about it. And I love that hour because it gave me time to be, creative and free. Now, the funny thing is I liked the dictionary because I was always trying to impress the teacher with big words and stuff like that. So I would, be one of the few would always get the dictionary to try to look up synonyms for simple words, and it was just over the top. But I remember in particular where I really fell in love was one day he put a picture of a slice of chocolate Duncan Hines cake. And, I just went over, above, and beyond of just describing this piece of cake. So, that's a little bit of, how I just really fell in love with it. And I never really, stopped writing, but I didn't know if, what to do with it, because I came from a family of, you need to be a teacher, a nurse, doctor, lawyer, those accountant, those kind of things, but not necessarily on the creative side of a writer or a dancer, or a singer or something like that. So, kind of move forward a little bit. I was married at a young age, and when I got divorced, I had so much going on. I didn't know what to do. And I remember someone saying, just write it. Just write everything that you got to get it out of you. And it wasn't meant to go anywhere or be anybody but for myself, but to just really get it all out. And once I got it out, somehow, some way, I don't quite remember that, hey, this could be a book. This can teach other people about when you get married young and not secure, all those different things. And so I was already leading with, let me write this to help other people, even though this is my story. And I sent it off to Maverick Films, which is, independent film, company. And they sent me a letter back saying this is a great story, great manuscript, and it'd be great for a book, but not for a script. And at first I didn't understand that. At first, what do you mean? This is my story. I know it's great. And then later I realized, it's not in script format because I had no idea. I just sent in what I had. I had no idea that there's a certain format that you had to submit your stuff. So I saved that letter because I said one day I'm going to show Maverick Film that, oh, yes, I can. Oh, yes, this is a great script. Oh, yes, this will be a movie. And this is way back in 1999. And then after I did all of this thinking, I was like, I don't know any filmmakers. Films cost millions of dollars. What am I thinking? I don't know, but it's going to become a film some kind of way. Fast forward, 4 years later, I meet my future husband, who was an aspired filmmaker. So everything started, falling into place and everything like that. Fast forward a little bit more, my husband and I moved to Los Angeles because he wanted to go to LA Film School, and become a filmmaker in LA. I would kind of edit his scripts for him and give him ideas and different things like that. It didn't work out between us, and I ended up moving back to Houston, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I'm a whiz in human resources. I have an executive master's degree in public administration, public policy, but I just didn't want to go back to corporate America. I just did not want to go back. And I was like, well, what will make me happy? What do I love? Writing. But I don't, it's just all those doubts. And so I said, okay, I'm going to step out on faith. People always say if you do what you love and you really focus and work hard on it for at least 10 to 12, maybe 15 years, the money will come. You'll see your success. So I said, okay, I'm going to test this theory out. My bachelor's in sociology, and that's what you do. You test theories out. And what I did was I really meditated a lot. I created a vision board of exactly what I wanted to do, and then I made an intentions list of what I intended to do. In no particular order, no date, just put it out there. I created a script writing business with no clients. Harvey happened. And I ended up working for a company that did the inspections, for Harvey. There I made an older gentleman by the name of, I can't remember his last name, but his name was Early. He and I were just talking. And I told him, I'm a script writer. I do films. And so he said, oh, well, my nephew does. Here, let me give you his number, get in contact. And there go again me, little dollar, I don't know. This man lives way in Washington, D.C., I don't know. And Mr. Early kept, hey, did you call my nephew? Oh, okay. And so I finally called my nephew. Talked to his nephew for about an hour. And his nephew asked me, hey, I would like to hire you. What's your PayPal account? And I said, I didn't have any of that. I just started the business, got the DBA, didn't have any of that. Mm-hmm. He said, as soon as you get it, you hit me back, and I'm going to deposit, your first installment of payment for you to help me write this script. Till this day, I have never met this man. We have been working together almost a year and a half, and I can't go into too many details about it, but the project, my first client, what we are working on, will be the turn up in my whole career. And I've never met this person. So for me, my event for life is just stepping out on faith, even when you doubt yourself. Just do it anyway. And so pretty much now I work 24/7. I just get naps, little siestas and breaks and stuff like that, but I never stop working. And I love it. Because I can do it at home in my slippers, and I don't have to, beat the humdrum of the regular 9-to-5 clock.
That is truly remarkable what you're sharing with us today. And one thing about writers tend to leave a piece of immortality on this earthly plane as writers. And you women are cemented in your passion. You're living by design and not by default. And you're changing the trajectory of the film industry. It's becoming a new paradigm. And you are paving the way for other women. And I must say that your compelling, ambitious journey to success is highly illuminating and fascinating, as well as the incredibly instructive guidepost to greatness, I must say. So let's talk a little bit about economics, because all of you are entrepreneurs as well. What do you feel would be the adequate address to the crippling economic issues prevalent among people today? Nikol J.
I really
feel like something should be done or focus should be given to welfare reform. Although I have mixed emotions about it, there's something that needs to be done to help in those areas. I believe that there's a real need and that we need to really ensure benefits go to those that are in really need. And then I also feel like there should be some type of education for some welfare recipients. I also feel like there should be some job placement. I really think that the elderly, we need to take some concern about the elderly who are living from check to check. I believe that their benefits should be increased. You know, I think that we need to really focus on welfare reform. I mean, I know we can't just get rid of it, but I know that there are some ways that we can build it in order to really help those people that are in need. And so I really would like to focus, and that would be one of my focus points once I really find avenues. I can definitely support something that has to do with welfare reform.
Good point. And Joan, what do you feel is the adequate address?
Yeah, well, this is going to be pretty weird, but I just have one word, and that's being silent. I think what cripples our economy is to be silent. In today's time, I think it's like this is an informational economy today. Like when I was coming up, and well, my mom was coming up in their era, they used the works of their hands to put food on the table, become entrepreneurs. But today, it's about how much information you obtain and what to do with what you have. So when you think about welfare reform and you think about helping the seniors out today, it's when people are silent. That's what kind of cripples our economy, because there are more small business entrepreneurs today, such as ourselves, but we don't plan on staying here and we don't plan on being content as a small business entrepreneur, but moving up. But there are more entrepreneurs today more than ever. And so people are like becoming successful overnight on YouTube. Why? Because they're not silent. So the information is there, but if it's not mixed with something, it's more like a character, your character, how to get it out there, how to make sure that the seniors don't suffer. Because every day I am very concerned, and I'm just piggybacking off Nikol because those issues touches me. I am concerned about my mom. She didn't have, after her check came, once a month, she barely had enough for rent. I mean, she barely could afford food on her table. And so that's where her daughters had to come in and pitch in. And I think that when people are silent about these issues, like don't go out to vote and things like that, you are crippling the economy. I think another thing I think you ought to have, besides not being silent, is hope. And everyone needs it. So in my opinion, this is how I like to put it. Everyone has a debt to pay to society. You're here on earth. You're taking up space. So you have a debt to pay to society. So whatever God has placed in your hand and whatever you are gifted to do, this is your contribution to society. Now, how you use it, that's going to be determined on who the person is. For me, I'm a Christian, so I practice Christianity. I practice being a good citizen. I practice being moral and self-awareness on what is going on and try to make the world a better place. So for me, it'll be something that gives hope. And so to wrap that all up in one, my calling and my contribution to society is hope. I have a burning desire to help transfer lives, so that, I can spread the message of hope. So if people have hope and they have compassion for one another and they are concerned about, their brother or their sister, because a lot of people say that doesn't concern me. Quick story, I had visited a college, and I seen a young lady actually throw her 7-month-old to the ground. No one said anything. The baby was crying profusely. No one said anything. I'm talking about silence. And I had to say, I just couldn't do it. And I said, why would you do that? Why would you throw your baby down on the ground like that. You could have broken the baby's bone or something. And she said, it's not your business. It has nothing to do with you. And everyone around her sat there they were silent. These were men in there, grown men. They were grown